I wanted to talk about getting kids off phones and into nature, which is so important. And why do you think kids would rather play in nature if there's something like a treehouse available than go on the screen? Do you have an answer to that question?
Yeah, I mean, it's not our job to get children off phones.
No.
We're not on a mission with that. That's for all of us to think about. But if we can be part of the journey to provide an alternative and a imaginative alternative. I mean, what are children looking for on phones? The sort of scrolling. They're looking for imagination. They're looking for excitement. That's what they're trying to find. And so often it's incredibly unsatisfying in that respect. We never get to it. So I think it's probably a lot easier than we think. It's not a big shift because we're just trying to speak to what children do naturally and instinctively. It's not trying to teach them. We've said many times, it's what children teach us about play. Their natural space, their instinct is nature, it is imagination, it is creativity. They are ace at that. And so many of the grown-up imposed structures that we place, school, the family home, the car, the 2-week family holiday, all of these things provide constraints to that. So to provide a space where they can go at any time they feel that they need to get closer to nature, remember that's their natural space, so they're naturally drawn to that. So the treehouse is not a 2-hour activity that's booked at the local leisure centre.
True.
It's just there.
And that's theirs.
7 days a week, 24 hours a day. It's available. It's a space.
And they can choose when they do it. So it takes them away from the structure. Yeah.
And obviously there's shelter. So if there's snow and rain, it's probably a beautiful place to go and enjoy that. We often put lights, solar-powered lights in there. So it becomes a magical space in the evening. It becomes that most beautiful space that some of us, and I wished and hoped it was all of us, remember from our childhood, the sleep out.
That would be fab if we all had that experience.
Yeah.
Just with that.
It's something that we've, some of us have done once or twice as a child, but what a marvellous memory, and the treehouse becomes the location for that.
And how do you think that sort of resets our curiosity and our confidence as well as a child when we're doing something like that?
Yeah, I think the space for confidence and bravery and strength is the imaginative space, a place of creativity. I think that's so important. Obviously, it lends into all the other things that we need to learn as we're growing up. It's not only creativity, it's not only imagination, but it's a hugely fundamental part of what's so wonderful about childhood.
But it lends itself into growing up confident and a certain amount of autonomy and taking your life in your own hands and taking control of your life to a certain extent. Obviously, you are protected in the garden, but it means that you have that whole, I can go out when I want, I can do what I want, and I can come back in within reason, obviously, when I want.
No, absolutely. A sense of freedom. I think also it's learning or encourages us all to learn about how we feel. Isn't that a big challenge these days? Recognizing how we feel and who we are. And again, we're not on a big sort of scientific mission, but the whole metaphor of a treehouse or a rope bridge, or it might be something that's as simple as a nest swing within a garden. And
a nest swing?
Yeah, it's like a basket, like a disc, a netted disc where the whole family can sit on that. It's suspended from a tree or from a line that's between trees. As ever, we do it differently. It's something that you can buy online, but the way that we work with that is to give it a really long pendulum. So it's something that can suspend from a branch on a tree or from a line between trees. So the pendulum might be 5 or 8 meters. So it's a huge pendulum.
So it's a huge swing as well, isn't it?
Huge swing, but it's a slow swing. Because it's big. So the space of that swing with each of those pendulum movements, but we design that and deliver that in a way that the whole family are on the same nest.
How lovely.
Together. And it's just the most beautiful experience. It teaches you so much. And the opportunity to sort of lay back and look up into the trees or up into the sunshine is just beautiful. And you can't not just sit and be quiet and slow. It's not, you can't do it fast.
Yeah.
It's hard
so
to do it fast.
we were talking the other day, weren't we, about the fact that we don't take time to lie down and look at the sky.
Yeah.
And I know we're talking about getting kids off the phones and into nature, but there is a place for combination here, because we were talking to somebody who has, when his children were young, he would get the app out that would show you where the stars are, and together they would look to see where the stars are. And not only does it show you where the stars and the planets are in your view, it shows you what's beyond the horizon as well. So that's an opportunity to talk, to experience nature, but actually to have the odd little bit of help from a bit of tech that you wouldn't have. Because if I lay on one of your Nest swings with my children now, I wouldn't be able to identify all the stars without some help. Just wouldn't.
Absolutely. And that's an amazing example. I love that, of that combo of tech and space. And to do, reading a book with your children, you want your children to just open their minds to imagination. And so the treehouse or the nest swing or the treetop walkway or the rope bridge in the garden is just the most marvelous place to go to read the book together. It becomes such an amazing experience. Stargazing, you're absolutely right. Just simple lessons of science or learning about the world or learning about nature, learning about flight when you see birds, all those little touch points. If it's only done from a book in the lounge, in the family home or at school, the learning is there, but the engagement and the wish to learn from a space of imagination with the children is not as good.
Thanks for listening to the Treehouse Life podcast. If this episode sparked your imagination, follow along and stay connected. You can find more of our work, stories from the treetops, and adventures around the world at Treehouse Life HQ. Until next time, keep exploring.